If Excel asks you to update links every single time you open a file, you're not alone. That pop-up usually means the workbook is pulling values from somewhere else, and Excel is unsure if it should refresh them. The annoying part is that it can happen even when you don't need those links anymore, or the source file moved and Excel keeps asking anyway. The goal is simple. Either update links silently when you want them, or remove the links so Excel stops asking. In the next few minutes, you'll get a clean checklist that works for most real-world spreadsheets. We'll cover the common causes, the safest settings, and the places links hide. We'll also talk about trade-offs, like security prompts versus convenience. By the end, you'll open your workbook without that constant interruption and still trust the numbers inside it. Next step. First, it helps to understand what Excel means by a link. A linked workbook is any file that contains formulas pointing to another workbook. The classic example is a formula like equals, open bracket, another file name, close bracket, sheet name, and cell reference. Excel treats that as an external dependency. When you open the file, it asks whether to pull fresh values from the source. If you click Don't Update, Excel keeps the last stored values. If you click Update, Excel tries to open the source, read the reference cells, and refresh results. That's useful for monthly reporting, but it's painful when the link is obsolete. Also, links can come from more than formulas. They can come from named ranges, charts, queries, and even conditional formatting. So the fix depends on where the link is coming from, not just what you see in a few cells. Next step. Before you change anything, decide which of these two outcomes you want. Option 1 is keep the links, but stop the prompts. That's common when the source is reliable and you want updates, just not the question every time. Option 2 is break the links completely. That's common when the workbook is being archived, shared externally, or the source file is gone. This choice matters because breaking links is permanent, in the sense that formulas become values. You can't automatically reconstruct the original external references later. If you're unsure, make a copy of the workbook first. Then you can test changes without risking your working version. Also, if this workbook is used by a team, agree on the behavior. One person updating links while another person doesn't can create confusing differences in results. Next step. If you want to keep links but remove the prompt, start with the workbook's startup setting. Excel has a setting that controls how it handles automatic link updates when opening a file. The key is that this is per workbook, not just a global preference. In the workbook, look for the setting that asks about updating automatic links. You typically get 3 choices: prompt, don't update, or update. Prompt is what you're experiencing. Don't update opens quietly but keeps old values. Update opens quietly and refreshes, but it may take longer and can trigger security warnings depending on your environment. Choose based on how critical fresh data is at open time. If your file is a dashboard, update may be right. If it's an archive, don't update is usually safer and faster. Next step. Now, if you want to remove the links entirely, use Excel's built-in Links Manager. This is the cleanest way to see what Excel believes are external workbook connections. In that list, you can update a link, change the source, or break the link. Change source is perfect when a file was moved to a different folder, renamed, or replaced by a newer version. Break link is for when you want to freeze results and stop all external dependency. After breaking, formulas that pointed outside become their current values. That means no more updates and no more pop-ups. But be careful with models that rely on live inputs. A good practice is to break links only after you've confirmed the numbers are correct and you've saved a version with the original formulas for backup. Next step. Here's a common frustration. You open the Links Manager and it shows no links, but Excel still prompts you. That usually means the link is hiding in a feature that isn't tracked the same way as standard formulas. The most frequent culprits are named ranges and defined names. A defined name can refer to an external workbook, and you won't notice it unless you inspect the name definitions. Another culprit is data validation lists that point to another file. Those can trigger link behavior, even if no visible cell formula does. The fix is to audit names and any list sources. If you find an external reference, decide whether to repoint it to a local range or delete it. This step alone resolves a surprising number of phantom link pop-ups that feel impossible at first. Next step. Another place links hide is inside charts. A chart can reference a series range that lives in another workbook. It can also reference a named range that points outside. If you copied charts from another file, you may have copied the link with it. The tricky part is that the worksheet might look fine, but the chart is still pulling data externally. When Excel opens, it detects that dependency and asks to update. The practical approach is to identify which charts are linked, then reset their data ranges to local cells. If you don't need the chart to be dynamic, you can also paste it as a picture. That removes the dependency completely. The trade-off is you lose the ability to edit the chart's data-driven behavior. For reports that are shared broadly, that trade-off is often worth it. Next step. Queries and connections are another major source of update prompts. If your workbook uses Power Query, legacy external data ranges, or connections to other files, Excel may treat them as refreshable links. Even if the workbook link prompt is about formulas, these connections can create their own refresh prompts or slow open behavior. The key decision is whether the data should refresh on open. For some files, you want manual refresh only, so opening is fast and predictable. For others, you want refresh to happen automatically in the background. Set that behavior at the connection level, not by guessing. Also, check if the connection points to a file path that no longer exists. A broken path can cause repeated prompts and delays. Fixing the path or removing the unused connection often eliminates the problem immediately. Next step. Let's talk about the Trust Center, because it's where people often overcorrect. Excel has security features that warn you about external content, including links. If you disable warnings broadly, you can reduce prompts, but you also reduce protection. The safer approach is targeted trust. If your organization allows it, you can add trusted locations where files can open and update content with fewer interruptions. That way, your known reporting folder behaves smoothly, while random downloads still trigger caution. Also, be aware of protected view. Files from email or the internet may open in a restricted mode, which changes how links and updates behave. The goal isn't to turn off security. The goal is to make your normal workflow predictable, without training yourself to click enable on everything. Next step. If you inherited a workbook and need to find where links live, use a structured search strategy. Start by searching formulas for an open bracket character, because external references usually contain a file name in brackets. Then check define names for the same pattern. After that, inspect conditional formatting rules, because they can reference external ranges too. It's less common, but it happens in complex templates. Finally, check objects like text boxes or shapes that may have formulas assigned. Yes, even a shape can display a linked value. The point is to work from most common to least common, so you don't waste time. Each time you find a link, decide, repoint, break, or remove. Keep notes as you go. It's easy to fix one link and miss another, then wonder why the pop-up persists. Next step. Sometimes the pop-up is caused by a link that's technically valid, but practically unreliable. For example, the source workbook is on a network drive that isn't always available, or it requires credentials. Excel then asks to update because it can't confirm access quickly. In those cases, consider redesigning the dependency. One option is to import the needed data into the workbook, then reference it locally. Another option is to consolidate sources into a single data file that stays in a stable location. If you must keep the link, choose Don't Update at Open and refresh only when you're connected. This reduces interruptions and avoids accidental partial updates. The broader lesson is that external links are a workflow decision, not just a formula detail. Stable links are fine. Fragile links create constant friction. Next step. After you make changes, validate the workbook so you don't trade pop-ups for wrong numbers. First, do a controlled open and confirm there's no prompt. Then check key totals, outputs, and any dashboard cells that people rely on. If you broke links, verify that the values are what you expect and that they don't change when you recalculate. If you kept links and set auto-update, confirm that the source file is reachable and that results refresh correctly. Also watch for subtle issues like dates, rounding, or missing rows if the source changed structure. If the workbook is shared, save it, close it, and reopen it again to confirm the behavior persists. This sounds basic, but it's where most "it worked once" fixes fall apart. A clean test cycle makes the fix durable. Next step. To prevent this problem in future files, adopt a few habits. When you copy sheets between workbooks, assume you might be copying links too. After copying, do a quick scan for external references and define names. When you build templates, keep inputs local and separate external data into a clearly labeled section or connection. If you distribute a workbook to others, consider converting external link formulas to values first, unless live updates are essential. And if you do need live updates, document the source file location and expected refresh behavior. That way, the next person doesn't spend an hour chasing a pop-up with no context. Excel links are powerful, but they need intentional design. A little discipline at creation time prevents a lot of frustration later. Next step. Let's wrap this into a simple decision tree you can reuse. If you need live data, keep the links and set the workbook to update or not update without prompting. If the source moved, use change source and point it to the correct file. If you don't need live data, break links and freeze values, but keep a backup copy first. If Excel still prompts, assume a hidden link and audit defined names, charts, and connections. And if security prompts are involved, use trusted locations rather than turning protections off. That's the whole playbook. If you want, I can also help you diagnose a stubborn file by narrowing down which category the link is in. For now, use the checklist and you'll usually eliminate the pop-up in a few minutes. If this was useful, subscribe for more practical Excel fixes, and comment with your situation. Do you prefer A, auto update on open, or B, manual refresh only? I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.